Yeah, this is my art. Poetry in motion. Yeah, this is my art. Yeah. There's a big difference between a hair cutter and a master barber. Word to the mother, from afros to fades to braids. Low cut Caesars with 360-degree waves. Back in the days, we rocked flat tops, Kwame's and gummies. The beehive made us a lot of money. Rat tail and parts looking funny. El DeBarge, new edition shag. For real, I miss those fads. This was classic, like Frankie Beverly and Maze. Nothing topped the barbershop back in the days. Classic. Yeah. This is my art. Yeah. Poetry in motion. Yeah. This is my art. Yeah. Poetry in motion. The art of barbering. Yeah. 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 Poetry in motion. The art of barbering.
Days, probably the 50s and 60s, before we was into TV, newspaper, the black barbershops and the beauty salon was the communication of the minority communities. You can get all the news that you want to about going into one of these barbershops or beauty salons. And today, the impact of our barbershops and beauty salons are still there. There's still a lot of information where people, I think the barbershops that I go to here in our community, they set up now even for the kids. They have Xbox, PlayStations in there. Back in our days of the 60s and 50s, you used to go to the barbershop, and while you wait to get your hair done, people be playing checkers, they be playing dominoes, cards. So the barbershops are very impact in our community. And I know that there's still certain barbershops in communities where people still go in there and talk political, especially talk sports, football, basketball. Back in the 60s when we had Muhammad Ali out here fighting, and when you couldn't afford pay-per-view, the next day you go to the barbershop and you get all the information that you need on fights, football, basketball, what's going on with high school football, and things that's dealing with our community, our kids and stuff. I think a barber, a lot of people don't understand about the barbers, is that some of the kids, they cut their hair. Some of them, they start probably even at 1 year old, or it can be 6 months, and they see these kids from 1 year old coming to their shop either weekly or every 2 weeks, and then next thing you know, they be seeing the kids go to college. So they are very influenced on our kids, because a lot of kids will tell the barber certain things that they wouldn't tell their parents, and the barber will go out and give them to say a lot of information, good information about college or school. A lot of kids probably would get into trouble or something within the school, but they would tell their barber before they tell their parents. So you talking about the impact in your community, your barbershop is an impact.
I was just trying to be a barber, but I'm a barber at home. Back in the country, I raised on the farm, and I didn't want to stay on the farm, so I thought it was easy to become a barber. So, and I got into it and I loved it. So, and I still can't cut it loose and back.
On April 15, 1970, Mr. Brown and business partner Jesse Womble purchased the old building on Bragg Boulevard.
Well, we came out of this barbershop. Mr. Womble and I both got fired at the same time at Fort Bragg. And his brother was out of job. When I learned about the barbershop being for sale, I contacted Mr. Womack, who is a good friend of mine for a long time. And we pooled our money and bought the barbershop. And he worked for a little while, and then he went to the post office and then left me managing the barbershop. And I've been here ever since 1970, April 15th.
A lot of history. I've been here since '76. I started with, who I started with? Harry. Harry was my first barber when I got here. Yeah, Midway Barbershop, #1 in my mind.
Met Mr. Brown in 1989, 90. When I was in high school at East Smith Senior High. Everybody came to Midway Barbershop. All the fellas came to Midway to get their hair cut. Midway was the barbershop to come to. I started going to Mr. Brown to cut my hair. One thing I liked about Mr. Brown was he always had a lot of wisdom to share. Mr. Brown used to say things like, in the chair, your family is your wife. A lot of people say, when you get married, you're going to have kids, then you're going to have a family. That's your family. And Mr. Brown said, no, your wife is your family. Mr. Brown used to tell jokes sitting in the chair to his customers and make the customers laugh. The funniest joke that I remember about Mr. Brown was when he said the man almost made it to heaven smelling like smoke. Meaning he was so close to going to hell that when he got to heaven, he was smelling like smoke. But that's Mr. Brown for you. A lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. Taught me a lot about how to purchase a car and things to look for and what to do once you got your car. A lot of financial wisdom. He didn't stay in the game of business this long without knowing something about business. So he's definitely a great man.
60 years. And, I started out barbering in 1952.
Throughout Mr. Brown's career, he has won awards for Barber of the Year as well as Presidential Award from the Fayetteville Business Professional League for commitment and dedication. Mr. Brown and Mr. Womble formed a strike while working at the barbershop on Fort Bragg. Mr. Brown, the vice president, soon became the acting president when the former president became ill. Mr. Womble was the Secretary of Treasury. Mr. Brown and Mr. Womble was considered to be the ringleaders because they held the most important offices. The reason why the strike was formed was because the contractors were charging more for haircuts but paying the barbers less. The barbers went from getting 70% a cut to getting 65% a cut. Mr. Brown and Mr. Womble worked together in Midway's earlier days until Mr. Womble started working full-time at the post office. Mr. Brown had a very successful business for 34 years. A lot of barbers got their start at Midway and then moved to open their own barbershops.
First barbershop I worked in was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I graduated from barber school, and the same day I graduated from barber school, I came to Fort Bragg and got a job working as a barber. There was a time when President True had elevated the army, so they had to have a black barber in every barbershop, at least one black barber, to take care of the customers. So I worked at Fort Bragg barbershop for about 6 months. Then I got drafted in the army, and after coming out of the army, I came back to Fort Bragg and worked about 17 years. And I got tied up with the union at Fort Bragg after getting out of service, and I got laid off. I got fired. I got fired at Fort Bragg for the union activity. We were trying to organize, me and another fellow, I was trying to organize the barber, so we have a little more unity and a little more power. And after that, went to the National Labor Relations Board and got rehired at the Fort Bragg again. And about 6 months later, all the barbers came out on strike in March. From September, I worked from September to March, and they came out on strike. And I never went back to Fort Bragg again. And I was the first I've ever been fired, and the longest I've been laid off in the job. But I unemployed for a little while and worked part-time for a man named J.C. Smith out of East Over. He had a barber shop. I worked on the weekends for him. And after that, my former employee told me that he knew where a barber shop was for sale. And he told me about it. And I came and me and Mr. Jesse Woman, we bought this barber shop in 1970 and opened it up in 1970, April 15th. We opened it up. And been here ever since. And getting fired turned out to be a blessing. I stayed at this barber shop. I've been working at this barber shop now for about 36 years. And I guess I keep saying I'm going to quit, but I hadn't quit yet. Sooner or later, sometimes I think old barbers never die, they just fade away. And now I lease the barber shop to Mr. Fowler. And he's doing a real good job with it. And I work for him one day a week now. It's kind of pretty turnaround. He came and worked for me, and then now I'm working for him.
In July 2004, Mr. A.C. Brown rented Midway Barbershop to Travis Fowler.
Yeah, I started here at Midway Barbershop in December 1999 when I first got here with Mr. Brown, Ms. Bell, and Charles Morgan. And of course I was the youngest, out of the crew that was working here at the time. And I learned a lot from Mr. Brown, Ms. Bell, and Mr. Morgan. Mr. Brown really taught me how to save my money, pay my taxes. I had noticed that Mr. Brown had a good, customer base. That he had a lot of customers that came in here. They would come and support him every week. And I noticed that the people that was coming to support him were people that he had met throughout his life, whether it was military or his church. So I started noticing that, wherever you go at in life, the people you come in contact with, whether it's a grocery store or wherever, you need to start trying to build clientele based off those people that Mr. Brown had. And also I noticed that they wasn't just his clients, it was also his friends. It seemed like he had real good conversations with them. He didn't just cut their hair and they left. Sometimes they'll come in, not even get a haircut. They'll come in Monday, get a haircut, and then Wednesday just come in to speak with them, talk with them and everything. And I learned a lot from those guys too. It really is a blessing to be able to be around, older people that can lead you in the right direction. I'm going to look at Mr. Brown like a mentor. So when I first started working here, I was an apprentice. Moved from being an apprentice after a year to being a registered barber, a master barber. And throughout that, Mr. Brown show me everything I need to know, from the clippers that I need to use, from different styles that I need to know how to do on the client. I was there 4.5 years, and then Mr. Brown decided to let me get the barbershop. So here it is, 6.5 years later, and I'm still owning the shop. Mr. Brown works every Tuesday, and I still go to him for advice. Even though I'm the owner of the shop, and Mr. Brown, he let me go and do things, fix up the floor, add new things to the barbershop, market, things that I want to do. I still go to him as a mentor and ask him, should I do this, should I do that? What do you think about this? Have you tried this marketing strategy before? How did it work for you? So I'm still referring back to Mr. Brown, because I can't compare my 6.5 years of owning the shop to his 34 years experience of owning the shop.
It's already video. Okay, I got it. One thing about women, especially black women, I'm so proud of them, because women need to get back to who we are with our own culture. Our own culture is where it's at, okay? Other race of people, we don't put anybody down, but be yourself. And God blessed us with natural hair, that you can do anything with your natural hair. You can straighten it, you can keep it even, you can have it natural, and you're looking to be yourself. And that's who we are as a black people, and we have to keep our culture alive, pass it down to the younger people to let them have pride in who they are. And I think a beautiful black woman looks nice with her hair naturally the way it is, like this young lady right here getting her hair done. She don't put no airs on for nobody, she's being herself. And we have to keep this alive with a fantastic barber like Mr. Travis there doing this thing. Mr. Travis know what he's doing. He's keeping this woman looking beautiful, and he's a master barber himself, and he's doing an excellent job. So it's not just a mindset, but it is a mindset when you look at it, that you have to be proud of who you are, what your culture is about, and where you're going with it. There's a lot of people in this world today trying to be like black people because they accept and they acknowledge our culture, and they want to be more like us, because the black man is the original man on the face of the earth. Not saying we're better than anybody else, but we are the head, we're not the tail, and history is changing now, and we're looking the way we're supposed to be, okay? So we believe in treating people right, us being treated right with respect. Black men have to treat their women better with respect, vice versa, keeping the family strong, teach the kids how to have respect for each other, and keeping the family tight. When you have a strong family unit, then the race will survive and it will grow. And black men have to be more fathers to their children. Black women have to be better mothers to their children. And in retrospect, it strengthens the whole black family together. And when you have a strong family, you have a strong culture. And we come second to none to nobody. And this is what's happening today. Positive manifestation.
Oh, I'll bring my sister.
Keeping it real.
I think
Man,
she
that
would
is
come
perfect. Perfect.
All
in. This
right.
is going to be so much better.
Man, I can't
How did your hair feel?
Manageable. I love it. I love
Very
it.
manageable?
Yeah, I was getting the braids. The braids grow out. You have to keep spending money getting it done. That can be costly. This is going to make me so much happier.
And you're not putting all these chemicals in your hair, tearing up your scalp, which God did not intend for you to do to do anyway. So you're saving money in your pocketbook, and your scalp is breathing natural, and you're not putting all kind of dyes and stuff messing your hair up, which these big companies are making millions of dollars off of you to do this. So, sister, I can agree where you're coming from. You're doing the right thing.
Oh, come back in 6 months. The fro's going to be out there.
Woo! Angela Davis style, baby. For y'all that don't know about Angela Davis, Get on the internet and look her up. Strong, positive sister, not just culturally, but politically. Strong black woman who was one of the first to wear the afro. So look Angela Davis up for all you younger folks. She's the real deal. Right. Nice sheen to it. Nice sheen. Feel liberated. She says she feel liberated. That's it. And look at the money you can save. Awesome.
Yeah, I started out in the barber business back in the 90s, back in 1999. But I had been cutting hair prior to that. When I started out in the barbershop, I was 20 years old. I was actually 12 when I first started out cutting hair. My first experience cutting hair, my mom brought my brother some clippers from the pawn shop. And it was actually for him, it wasn't for me. And my brother had went and cut his teddy bear up. And when he cut the teddy bear, he had like all the blue hair from the teddy bear in the clip, so the clippers were all fogged up. And before he had did that, he had went and cut his hair without a mirror or anything. So when I came home from playing outside around the neighborhood, I walked into the house and everybody was laughing. And I didn't know what exactly had happened. So I went in the kitchen and they said his brother cut his hair. And I said, where he at? Let me see. So my little brother was hiding underneath the table because he was embarrassed of his haircut. So when I had walked in the kitchen to see him, he had his hair cut like a triangle, like somebody put a slice of pizza on top of his head. So after I saw that, I said, you know what, I'm gonna take the clippers and I'm gonna learn how to cut hair. The older guys in my neighborhood, they were just really good. So I felt like in my age group, I was gonna cut hair and that I was going to basically just be good in my age group. I didn't take it seriously. I didn't know anything about the haircutting business at the time. I just knew that back then in the early 90s, you know, we all would get our names cut on our head, all these different designer parts, and we all wore flat tops at the time. So I just want to be the best in my age group. So therefore, I started cutting hair in the neighborhood. Different guys around the way would just let me come by, cut their hair. Sometimes their uncles or their big brothers might let me experiment on them. And my grandmother noticed that I was pretty good at cutting hair. I didn't take it seriously at the time. Every time we cut somebody's hair in the backyard or in the bathroom, my grandmother would say, that looks really nice. Why don't you go and do that? Why don't you pursue that? She told me about her brother who was in Jacksonville, North Carolina. And he did very well for himself financially, took care of his family. And she felt that if I were to go that route, that maybe, you know, I could be able to do something productive with the barber trade. Me myself, I didn't see it as a means to make income. You know, for me at that time, 12 years old, I just used it as bragging rights, just something to do that was gonna get me some attention in the neighborhood, maybe at school, maybe some of the kids would say, oh man, he's better than you as far as cutting. I didn't see it as a means of taking care of family or taking care of myself in that sense.
We on video. I show you how I talk junk to you all day long. Come in here. That's how we do.
You really should start protesting that child.
Wait till I get finished with today. Man, you work for 75 cents. When you work 75 cents off, you send them outside and maybe pick up the trash. I bet you won't. That's not
though. I want to grow my hair out. I ain't got the patience now, but God, I would let it grow my hair out like that. I had it back in '95, the gold fronts on my mouth. Vic, I think you might have did that. That had New Vision.
There's been a lot of changes in the industry that's taken place over the last several years as it relates to barbers getting out of barber school and their mindsets. They come into the shops nowadays and they're looking for stuff to just be handed to them. And nobody really wants to put the time in and continue to work, and perfect their craft and build up their clientele. They want everything quicker. It's like, nowadays these barbers are like a microwave society or microwave generation. And they just have a hard time, getting the real concept of, when I started out, I stayed passing out cards and passing out flyers, constantly always promoting myself. And still to this day, even though I've been cutting hair professionally since 1995, I still go out and I promote myself. Because, my biggest form of building up clientele is, me getting out, passing out flyers, me cutting hair, and having my clients take my cards and pass them out and bring me other clients. So that's stuff that you can't stop doing. I don't care how long you've been doing it, you got to stay at it. Even with Facebook and Twitter, there's a whole lot more avenues now for barbers to really promote themselves. There's a lot of them still don't take advantage of the avenues that's given. First and foremost, early on I created a system, and my first shop was called New Trend, so initially it was called the New Trend system, but that system now is called a True Blend system. And I just talk about different techniques in building up clientele. I actually, the sheet that I gives out is a map, it's a blueprint on how a barber can be successful and build up clientele in the industry. And I talk about a lot of the stuff that I just talked about as far as using social media, Facebook, Twitter, still constantly promoting yourself when you getting out there in the streets, passing out cards and flyers yourself so people are able to put a face with, with who you are. And that's been real successful for a lot of my barbers. I have a lot of tips. I constantly myself stay on the websites and stay on social media and trying to learn new stuff and bring it back to help inspire the barbers and push them to take this industry to the next level, especially the young guys, the young barbers that got a lot of years ahead of them. Because they can be real successful. They can really move barbering to a whole nother level. Really trying to get them to look at the total picture of a barber, because it's a lot more than just cutting hair. And try to get them to start to venture into doing other things, as far as like a lot of the new techniques that's out, that they're able to generate a lot more money than just a general haircut service.
I started barber school in May of '98. I actually got kicked out of barber school 3 times because I didn't have the money to go to barber school. I was just piecing my funds together, different odd jobs that I was working so I could go. Barber school was $4,000 to go. It was 10 months, and in that 10-month time, I got kicked out of barber school 3 times. The payment was due on the first, you got by the 5th, you gotta go. And it took me about a year and 3 months to finally get out of barber school. While I was in barber school, I was actually homeless, sleeping in my car for a couple of months until a friend of mine offered me, to be able to come and stay in his apartment, with him until my situation got a little bit better. We were roommates for about 3 or 4 months. So by the time I decided to go back to barber school the 3rd time, I think I was at about $1,500 that I had owed to school at this time, and I was, making ends meet, and I finally had a place to stay. So that made things a little easier then. But I was very antsy to get out of barber school, because I knew that once I got out and got to a barber shop, I could try to build my clientele up and hopefully, generate some income. So I finished barber school in December 99. Now in July of 99, I already had about 5 barbershops lined up for me to work at. Being that I didn't really know the barber business, and being that I was just using the barber business as a means of survival, it was more like trial and error for me trying to figure out which direction I want to go at. I don't think that any of the barbershops was better than each other. I don't think that one was better than the other. I don't think that one was worse than the other. I think that I was trying to find a more stable place to be at, something that I can call home for a while, and basically just build my base and build off of that, make a foundation and build off of that. I knew I didn't want to be jumping around from shop to shop because I felt like customers need consistency. You know, if you want to build respect in the community, if you want to build a good reputation of being there when the customers be there, you need to be in an establishment that you know you're going to be at for a while. So, like I said, I had 5 barbershops lined up, and I was still in barber school. I was probably about 6 months away from finishing barber school, but I made sure that I had some things lined up so when I get out of barber school, it'd be a smooth transition. I was going to a clothing store. At the time it was called D&E off of Brad Boulevard. Me and a friend of mine would go there and we would buy suits. And it was a barbershop next door to D&E. And I've never noticed the barbershop before. I think I've been going to D&E for about a year, and I never really paid any attention to the barbershop. Well, I went inside of D&E, bought me a nice tie, bought me some cufflinks to go with it, and I asked the young lady that was working there about the barbershop. I said, how's the barbershop next door? And she said, oh, it's alright, just a bunch of old heads. So I was like, alright, but she said it in a very negative way. Kind of made me say, I'm not gonna go over there. I don't want to go over there. I mean, the way she said it, the way she presented it to me. So, I just still, was thinking about the other shops that I had lined up. And I went back to barber school that following Monday. And I was just noticing, some of the guys I had went to barber school with, they really didn't understand professionalism. Let me put it like that, make it nice. They would run around there, they were loud, they was rude, disrespectful. And I felt like, what if this was the barbershop? I try to put myself in that frame of mind of, what if this was the shop that I was actually working in? What if I finished school and I'm in here and I'm working? I'm like, man, you got these guys running around here acting like that and talking like that around children and old folks and women. And I said, nah, that's not the kind of shop I want to be at. So I thought about the older shop that the young lady had spoke on a couple days prior. She said, just a bunch of old heads. So I went back and just inquired about that shop. And when I went in, it was a gentleman that owned the shop by the name of Mr. David Brown. And it was 3 barbers at the time. It was Miss Bell, which was an Asian lady who phenomenal barber, hands down. And then there was another guy who was the manager by the name of Charles Morgan. So when I went inside the shop and I spoke to the owner, Mr. Brown, I inquired about, getting a job, and he informed me that it wasn't enough customers coming to the barbershop for a fourth barber to start working there. So I said, all right, and it was cool with me because I, like I said, I had 5 other barbershops already lined up. So I left the barbershop and I went back to barber school. And while I was in barber school, I was pretending like I was already in the shop, and I was trying to get myself in a mind frame of being in the barbershop, how to have good customer service, how to treat the customer, how to be innovative, and at the same time staying current and understanding what's going on right now as far as the different styles, but also adding my own flavor into it to create something different. So long story short, it was something about that barbershop, Midway Barbershop. It was something about it that kept drawing me back to the barbershop. Even though Mr. Brown told me that they didn't have room for a fourth barber, every Friday when I get out of barber school, I would still go by the barbershop. And I wouldn't stay long, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And it was weird because I didn't know Mr. Brown, I didn't know Ms. Bell, I didn't know Mr. Morgan, I didn't know any of them. And something just kept drawing me to that barbershop. So I would go there every Friday when I get out of barber school. And I started picking up corners. I said, well, if I can't work here, let me at least pick up something out of it. That's when I started doing the razor line, doing parts with the razor. I had never seen that before until I had went to visit Midway. So when I would go back to barber school, I would try it. And everybody swore up and down I was working in a barbershop, and you know that's illegal, you know you get caught, you're gonna get in this much trouble. But I wasn't. I was just going in there, visiting, taking these mental pictures of what I saw, and I will apply it. I mean, I'm in barber school shaving balloons and not popping them. I mean, it's funny because you will see the white of the shaving cream, and you'll see the color, the red color of that balloon in that white. So it's like I'm shaving the balloon, but I'm getting it so close, and my hand was so steady that I wasn't popping the balloon.
Good right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was getting my hair cut from Mr. Travis Fowler around the mid-90s or so. So we're talking about 94. Me, I'm probably like 4th grade. He's about high school and whatnot. And, you know, I learned about him, like I said, he was that man here in the neighborhood. Me, I probably moved in the neighborhood probably about 2 years prior. You know, I'm moving from out of state, I'm moving from Texas, so like I really appreciate these guys, really, you know, me speaking at 30 years old now from.
I think about the 4th or 5th time I went to Midway, just to visit, you know, my normal weekly pop-ups. I stopped in Midway, and as soon as I walked through the door, Mr. Brown said, "Hey man, so people was in here talking highly of you. Do you still want to work here?" And I was like, yeah. I mean, I didn't ask who said it, what they said. I didn't care. I just needed a job, and it was something about that barbershop that kept drawing me there. The newer generation, the newer generation of barbers. I meet a lot of guys who really can cut hair, have great talent with their eye and hand coordination, but sometimes the commitment, you know, they lack in the commitment, they lack in the business sense. Some of them lack in the customer service. I think that it's so much freedom in the barbershop, as far as like not having a boss standing over you, that a lot of them lose sight on what's important. With me, I always felt like my customers wasn't my boss. Even though I'm self-employed, if that guy come to you every Friday and for whatever reason, he don't want to come to you anymore, you just lost not just $10, you talking about every Friday, you talking about a whole month, you done lost $40 from that one guy. So in essence, you just got laid off, or you just got fired. You just attracted $40 from your monthly income. That's always one thing I keep at the front of my brain. A lot of younger barbers that I'm meeting, they do some fantastic haircuts. A lot of fantasy styles. A lot of you know, your mohawks, your fade. I mean, it's nice, but when it comes down to the business aspect of it, they lack. They lack. And for me, I feel that it's important for me, being that I'm a seasoned barber, that I have been cutting, you know, professionally, almost 20 years, and without a license longer than that. But I have cut in so many different platforms. I cut hair in the jail system, the P-Down system, for over 10 years. I cut hair at rest homes, nursing homes, for 12 years. And like I said, I've been in my barbershop for 15 years. So if there's any bit of knowledge that I can pass on to any younger barber, any aspiring barber, understand the business. Let people be your business. Let the understanding of people's needs, you know, let that dictate to you how to conduct your business. You know, we all understand business is supply and demand. So in the business of barbering, you want to try to build that relationship with your clientele. I have customers that now, I mean, I've been cutting hair for so long, I look at them as big brothers, uncles, cousins, aunts. That's the way I look at them, because it's like now it's not just they come to me to get a service for cutting their hair. We also have good conversation together, and I think that's very important to keep residual income, to keep people constantly coming back and giving them more than a haircut. I don't take for granted that my clientele ride past 10 or 12 barbershops before they even get to me. But they choose to ride past those shops to come to my shop every week and support me, support my family, and also allow me to give them the service that I know that they deserve. So I really do appreciate that, and I don't take that for granted. And I wish that I could just impart that into a lot of the younger barbers so they can really just see exactly what we're doing in the community as far as barbers. It was a time where barbers were the preacher, they were the mentor, they were the father to those who didn't have father, they were the big brother. And now, you know, it seems like with this younger generation, they're starting to get away from that. And I'm not making a blanket statement or saying everybody. I just hope that, you know, I can inspire and I can let, you know, the next generation see that it's about the people first. You take care of the people and they'll take care of you.
Somebody needs to know. Shark can play Captain.
That's the thing what barbers need to get on is managing their money better.
What you mean by managing their money better?
Manage your money better?
Yeah.
Setting up money for their retirement, putting away savings, especially being self-employed, having your credit is very important. Being good standards, having good credit score, being self-employed. Because that's the last thing you need, because self-employed, you have to prove yourself even more so. So having bad credit is definitely a negative.
I've been cutting hair for
at least 20 years. I mean, the profession has really been a blessing. It has really been good to me. Two factors. Because the profession itself is good, and secondly, because I follow the great guidelines, the blueprint. Profession that you have to govern yourself. You're not going to get fired. You can fire yourself. No one's going to tell you how early to come in, how late to stay, how to treat your customers.
It is a waste of time and money, man.
Do all that, you know.
You've been cutting hair for years. You know, and they think that they're going to come to school and be doing it like, well, I do it, we've been doing it, you know, 15 plus years. They think that they're going to come out and drive the nice cars, going to have a clientele build down. You know, they think it's easy. It's not. You have to be very disciplined to be a barber.
That stuff takes time, too. That definitely takes time. Then you come off the bat. $1,000 a week.
SUPA TRAV, and we work on commission, and
party, and you got 10% of the products that you sold. You can make her money too.
So now I talked to her about this before. I asked her, because you was at FS one time too, right? FS? Okay, oh yeah, it was at SUPA. Okay. I asked her this is what I asked her. I said, when you were working there, how did you perceive and view a shop like this? And she thought, at that time, by her working for a corporation shop, that there's no way in the world that she could make good money working for an independent sole proprietor in a shop like this. So she was working at a corporate shop, super cuts. And she looked, in a sense, she looked down on a shop like this. And so now that she's worked in both of the shops, she has a true perception of what goes on. So tell her, what do you think now?
I would never go to I used to work 9 to 5, punch the clock, and I got paid a percentage of what I did. That's it. I did some taxes, I did teachers. I didn't work my contract. So of course I would never punch the clock.
But your perception of this was
when I first started taking care of I never worked for myself. All they do when they sell drugs and they run women, and that was my persona of like own business. That you're not gonna make no money, you're not gonna make no pet. I was raised, you work a 9 to 5, you punch a clock, that military raising, that's what you do. You don't work for yourself. You get the corporation pays you. That's when I worked. So when I stepped out and worked for myself, I was scared. I thought I was going to fail. But I'm going to fail. But I would never question
something that I did to get good people. I want to say something about me to get good people, but I have to say that I was blessed to have good people work for me. Like my barbers, all of them, veteran barbers. Every barber in here, I feel, has the ability, to own their own business, but they elect to work here at Baltimore. So I just saying that I'm blessed to have good barbers.
What's the secret to get good barbers?
I think it's a lot of trial and error. You do have to offer opportunities to people, and you just kind of see if it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if there's any true way of determining a good barber when you first see them, because sometimes they may look away, but over time they evolve into the type of barber that you want them to be. They may come in the door sagging the pants, but after a year or so they pull the pants up, the attitudes change, they kind of see what you're trying to show them. So it's a lot of trial and error. Then you have those that are determined not to change. So that kind of weed itself out on their own. So, I don't know if it's a secret to it. I'm gonna ask you the same question. So
That's why I'm asking you, because in this day and time with a lot of young barbers come out the shop,
right.
I don't even know if a lot of them really think about owning their own shop.
Right.
Or the fact that starting up from the ground up is how you get to the point where you start owning your own shop.
Yeah, I'm more curious and to have people to work for me that are on that path. I don't want a person to work with me with the employer type of mentality, because that sometimes it's all about what I do versus what they do for themselves. In barbering, I think you have to be a self-starter, somebody that really wants it. So that's what I look for a younger barber versus somebody who want to work for me. I want somebody who want to work for themselves, work along with me, and let them guide them and show them, how they can make it. So that's what I tell somebody versus somebody that has an employer mentality versus, somebody want to be a boss or a self-employed person. hard. But I think you set a pattern, try to guide them, let them know, how to carry yourself, how to talk to people, how to let them educate them on the art of barbering. After that, you have to figure it out, figure a lot about just by watching, observing other people.
That's what's up. I appreciate it. See, with him, I want to leave my line. I'm going to show you why.
Remember that one right there in the middle?
No, this one. Yeah, I want to leave that. I'll show you why. That's why I say, even though it's the same technique, no two haircuts are the same. Some stuff that you wouldn't leave on one head, you leave on the other head to build that effect.
In the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, praise be to God, the Lord of all the worlds. I am your neighbor, I'm your friend. I'm a Fayetteville State University Brown Coal Key alumni member in the East Smith Golden Bull and a citizen of the world. I am Imam Minister Irani Smith Muhammad here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Truly, with all sincerity, making sure that we put our young brothers and sisters in charge of America and of this country. Almighty God has blessed me to be the founding pioneer of the Muslim community, Masjid Olayni Saeed here in Fayetteville. And concerning entrepreneurs, that's one of my main concerns, and highly successful part of the African American community. Concerning the barbershops, of course, the individual who cut my hair, my brother's hair, the four of us growing up here in Fayetteville, and he's still my barber today after 55 years. And his name is Reverend Dr. Butler, and he's a Master Barber. And the young brother who's doing this video has heard of him, I'm sure. But he's still living and he cuts my hair, and the African American entrepreneurship is well and alive, is thriving. Here in Fayetteville, we encourage the African American entrepreneurs to be a part of the growth and development here in Fayetteville and Cumberland County. And the individual who's my first barber, his father was the individual who integrated the military barbershop at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. His name is Dr. Butler. And he integrated Fort Bragg. And he often talks about when he was a young man as a barber, he got his job at Fort Bragg. The individual who was cutting hair beside him was white American, didn't want to see him there in the Fort Bragg area cutting hair. Got mad one day and kicked him in the seat of his pants. And this Reverend Butler was a trainee as a boxer, training to be a prize fighter. He said he turned around and hit the fella, and then the fella picked up a wooden chair and tried to hit him. Then he gave him an uppercut and knocked him way across the room. He had to do all of that in order to cut hair at Fort Bragg, to integrate the barbershop at Fort Bragg.
I think that the amazing thing about being a barber and cutting in a well-established barbershop and being in that barbershop for as long as I've been in it is that I come across a whole lot of really great people. Like I've been fortunate enough to meet a whole lot of great people in my time working in the barbershop. What's fascinating to me is that I have some customers who I've cut their hair since they were in elementary school. And now they're grown men and they have children of their own. And now they bring their children to me for me to cut their hair. And it's just amazing that I'm in a business where you can actually grow with the families of the people that you service, you know. And that's just awesome. I mean, you can't get that and a lot of other businesses. You know, a lot of other businesses aren't that one-on-one. You got corporations that don't know their clientele and don't care about knowing their clientele. But for me to be able to see my clientele grow and do great things in life. One of my clients, I remember when he was in high school, he talked about being a DJ. Want to be a DJ, want to be a DJ. Oh yeah, that's cool. And I encourage him and everything. And now he's DJing, and he's DJing on a large scale. He's very respected, you know, in his city of where he DJ at. And I just think that's awesome that I have these memories in my mind of. Yeah, you see that? That's my first barbershop. That was a pump house in my grandmother's backyard. This is when I first started, you know, 12 years old, plugging the clippers up. Everybody just finished playing basketball in the backyard and trying to tighten everybody up. Right here at the pump house, this is my barbershop. This is where it all started at, humble beginnings. Ms. Bell was one of the best barbers I ever seen. Not only just a female barber, but Ms. Bell knew how to run the business, and she gave a really great haircut. Ms. Bell taught me how to run the barbershop, and she was at Midway for 25 years. Anyway, she could have easily owned her own shop if she wanted to. She just didn't want the responsibility and the headache of running the shop.
Miss Bell, we miss her. She was one of a kind, unique, and...
Well, I remember when I used to come in here a long time ago and have Miss Bell cut my hair. You know, I always was excited to see her. She was the nicest lady I've ever met, man, and, you know, had a good heart, very caring. So, but it was fun with her being in here and seeing her and Travis. You know, she cut my hair, it was smooth and got them crisp edges, and I was loving it. So she did her thing, man. She was one of the greatest, you know, always the greatest. And I miss her though.
You know, I heard somebody say once, how you know about investments, stocks and bonds and stuff? Guy said, I learned that in a barbershop. Man, how you learn about black history? How you know about Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey and all these? I heard it in the barbershop.
Can't nobody make them see what you know you gotta prove.